Landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And the most bittersweet part of the slow, disorganized shamble forward into older age is there's no longer that primal joy, the raw, childlike delight in asking somebody if they prefer tapes or CDs. If you get that, you're old. But you guys picked it out, and this week I'm carrying the Albatross FK055. I put way too much sauce on that throw. So let's take a look at what we're holding, because it'll bother you if I don't, and you know I spoil you. And first things first, and most importantly, the pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. We have got what I assume is G10 here. I didn't look before I started recording because I never do. We have got the Albatross pivot collar here. That's a nice touch. Focus. Okay, there we go. We got a flipper tab, so let's flick the bean. And we got about 3 inches of D2 steel right here. So I think you can see immediately what grabbed me by the short and curlies with this thing. The design is bold. It looks really cool. And, it's a budget knife. This is kind of the heartbeat of the channel, is finding cool stuff under $50, and this thing is $39.50. We also have bearings on this thing. It's got a lot of good going for it. And, this was kind of why I was confused when Albatross sent the other stuff they sent, was this is the stuff they should be wanting to show off. And, I'm going to be happy to be carrying this. I've been looking forward to this since it came in, because it's been on my wish list for a while. And they do have one of these where the hex pattern is blue and not yellow, but, I had to get the yellow. I had to. The design's cool. The grind on the blade is also really slick. I don't know if you can see it, but the plunge line right here, that is a really clean-looking plunge line. And normally, a plunge line is not a detail you notice, but this one's done a little bit different from where I've seen it before. I don't see them sculpted in like this very often. It's little touches like that to really set this thing off. Now, the only real gripe I can find with this, possibly, is going to be the pocket clip. The pocket clip is decent looking. It's definitely got clearance. It's definitely going to clip into a pocket really well. But it's not the strongest. It's strong enough. It's going to hold, but that is not the strongest pocket clip. If this gets caught, it's not going to take much to bend it up out of shape. That's the only real weak spot I can see with this thing, honestly. It is... outside of that, quite good. Let's take a look at the factory edge, see how that's doing. And y'all gotta forgive me. Cutting paper has not been going good for me for a while. I have been having such a hard time dealing with that. But the factory edge is quite good. I can't find any fault there with that either. I'm gonna go ahead and load up a cartridge with some string and see how it do on that. But, this is one of those times where, I'm definitely happy they sent it, and of course I look forward to checking out more of the nicer Albatross stuff in the future. I'll be buying some more of my own stuff later on down the road, unless this thing turns out to be a complete piece of garbage, which there's no reason it should. Everything about this looks pretty damn skookum. You look at the steel in here for the lock and everything else. It's a thick enough piece of steel. Everything about it's assembled well. The parts are good. The fit up's good. Everything about it is pretty damn good. But let's see what we get on the edge tester. Got a 134. That is a good number. 134, that is a really good number. So it came out of the box with a good edge from the factory. So this is what I like about Albatross. Of course, we had that cool flipper and the modern Damascus that I really like too. So this thing is going to be, I am predicting right now, no major issues from this thing. There may be some tiny hot spots in the waistband if I carry it like that. In the pocket should be no issue whatsoever. That's going to be the only thing, is if some of these corners rub and dig. That is going to be it. And of course, I am looking forward to cardboard slayer with this thing. We've got a fairly thick-ish piece of blade stock, but the grind up here is flat. It feels slightly convexed. So cardboard slayer should be an okay experience with it. This should do pretty well. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But the other half of my loadout for the week is also going to be the Rocktol ST02. And I've just shown you guys this thing recently whenever it came in, so we'll gloss over this real fast, but they are $19.99 on Amazon right now. They're still on sale. If I remember right, full price is like $30, I think. But for $20, you can't go wrong here. You can't. You got your plain edge right here, locks open. I believe it's 7CR17 steel, which, I would turn my nose up at on a regular knife, but for a multi-tool knife, that's not that big of a deal. Again, for me personally, and your mileage may vary, but the knife on a multi-tool is kind of a secondary feature. It's almost like a backup piece of steel, and that's a very small part of a much larger package. So 7CR17 on a multi-tool is not the end of the world, but we have got extra jumbo scissors. We got big scissors right here. Like, I love this so much. And, you know, the only qualm I have right there is they're a little bit hard to get out of here. Like, you really got to get your fingernail in there and work on it to get it open. But, you know, it's open, it locks. Like, everything about it is good enough that I really don't have that big of a problem with it. You got our bit driver here, which the bit driver does not lock all the way open. There's no hard lock on it. It's just a detent. So you got a slip joint bit driver. But the rest of your tools do lock open. And my bit, aw, guys, my bit fell out. You know what? Turn around. Go back where you live. Go where you live, little guy. But, you know, we got your, you got your all punch wire stripper, scraper. Like, it's got a lot of things going on. I've never actually used one of these on a tool, but it exists. I may need it for something. I can actually see how this has got some use, but I haven't carried a multi-tool for too long, at least not in many years, so there's a lot of stuff like this where when I did have stuff like this on other multi-tools, I didn't need it for much, but like I can already see about a million different ways to use that guy. Of course, we got our flat bit for larger flatheads and a little bit of prying work. We've got our super fine point flat bit, and we have got our can and or bottle opener right here. So you got a very basic kit, but the nice thing is, you know, everything on the back here opens with the wave style lock, so I'm really happy with that. But, you know, this is definitely, and I said it before when I did the first video, you know, I haven't carried a Swiss Army knife in a long time, and the thing that gets me with Swiss Army knives is I find myself in positions where I use them, and I wind up using them just a hair too hard, and either, like, the blade picks up a massive roll in it, or the blade just kind of bends. Like, they're more fragile than I need for the kind of work I've done with them. You know, the environment I'm in now, I could probably carry a Swiss Army knife and do just fine with it for ages and be okay. But back in the day when I was doing outdoor work, landscaping, greenskeeping, stuff like that, when I'd end up using a Swiss Army knife, it would take damage like that. And that always drove me nuts. So I wound up with not having a Swiss Army knife for a long time, and this scratches the itch that I had for, you know, the convenience of a knife style setup with multiple tools on it. But it does it in a way I like. It's much more robust. It's much more, it's overbuilt for a Swiss Army knife, is the best way to put it. But this is my loadout for the week. This is what I'm carrying this week, and of course I'll be back at the end of the week to let you know how this did and how this did. I don't predict any major problems with this outside of the pocket clip being here, with it being this wide between the pocket clip and the other side of this. If it's on my hip, it may start digging in and causing issues. If it's in my pocket, it may cause issues getting in the pocket and getting around it. I'm going to try out both positions and see how that does. But I almost 100% guarantee you this is going in the console of my truck as soon as this week's over, because this would be a very handy thing to have in the truck with me. And then that's probably where this thing's best use case scenario is in your vehicle as a, you know, a spare tool or something to grab in case you need something in a pinch. Or it's like, if you're not going to be in your car or something like that, like, you're probably going to be carrying a knife and a multi-tool, you know, or if you got to travel really light or something like that, like, it's got a lot of use cases. For me personally, this is going in the console of the truck once I'm done carrying it. So, any more than that, I'm just rambling incoherently, but I wanted to share with you what the loadout for the week is, what we're doing with it, and, yeah. So, all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. A ton of y'all came in on last night's live stream. I appreciate you so, so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We got giveaways coming up. We just hit 3K. We got live streams, regular videos. There's plenty of activities. Comments. I love some feedback. If you have one of these, let everybody know what you think about it. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.